Stephen Jules Radio Show.
Yeah, alright. What's going on, Wisdomers? I'm back. Anyway, there's a lot to discuss for today's show, quite a fair bit. What's going on? Basically, yeah, a lot of politics going on in Woolworths and Coles over Australia Day. Yeah, they are willing to stock the Indigenous flag, but why aren't they stocking? Why are they pulling down Australia Day merchandise? I mean, that's just not fair. That to me is basically, it's just an example of bullying out there as well. To me, that is just another way of controlling people by pulling down Australia Day merchandise that is un-Australian. And what has happened? These woke corporations, these lefties in these corporations who, just don't care. They have basically really fucked the nation up. Our country's fucked since Albo took over. Basically, the way I see it now is I think that for a time being, sooner or later the truth has to get out about Albo, or he needs to resign and someone else needs to take over the Labor Party, because to me now, things like, I did my shopping yesterday, and just for some basic items, I got 2 deodorant cans, 3 those 1.5 litre bottles of water in Woolworths, some hand soap as well, 2 deodorants, 5-pack of hand soap, 3 of the 1.5 litre bottles of water in Woolworths. It was roughly $40 all up. And I'm thinking, for fuck's sake, this is just ripping people off. It really is ripping people off at the end of the day, that because of inflation, your money's just piss weak now. And you think, well, when is this crisis going to end? It's like, are we going to get the simple tax cuts from Anthony Albanese as well? I think Australia is just paying too much in taxes. I think our cost of living is just way too high in this country. I know, I've actually heard other places like London is more expensive because they use the British pound. But it seems to me that the corporations are the ones that are laughing at us because they're just getting a walk in the park. I've heard Coles have actually been intimidating farmers, bullying them because they don't want to do business with them anymore. They're being ripped off. Farmers have been getting ripped off for years from Coles and Woolies. Now, unfortunately, Coles, Woolies, and Aldi, or if you're shopping at Costco, unfortunately, we do need to go and we do rely on them. But woke bureaucrats in these corporations, they know that and they take advantage of us in the world. It's going on everywhere. The government too is looking at a digital identification system. Um, Quote Daily Telegraph, the ID system will bundle together a person's driver's license, Medicare card, passport details, Centrelink details, and other credentials. This was an article written from Rocco Luiacono. I could be pronouncing that wrong, but that was in the Daily Telegraph. But yeah, it's kind of what can I say? Basically, it's becoming like George Orwell's 1984. If you haven't read the book, it's it's one of those issues where I do not trust the digital identification. It's all data harvesting, and then hackers, if they get a hold of that, especially we saw with Optus getting hacked. Yeah, it can't be quite. I'm fed up with it. Like, if I've said it before about cashless society, how I think it's just another way for control, is what I think. I've basically seen a lot in this world in this last 3 years. So I knew Facebook and Instagram were hiding things from me. Cancel culture as well. We've seen the cost of living crisis now, and no one's getting help. I mean, is this the Great Depression returning again? Are we heading for another Great Depression? And how can we prepare for another Great Depression or a recession as well? Is what I believe that we've got to look at ways for success during a time like this. For me, it's an issue where it needs to be talked about and addressed. Like, it was promised at the last federal election when the Liberals lost, Albo took over. Yes, he did bring the voice referendum, but then stuffed everything up with the cost of living crisis. Higher childcare costs now. This is from the Australian Labor Party. Labor's not funding enough for the childcare industry. These tax cuts. Is Albo going to use these tax cuts? And yet the government Chris Minns and the Labor Party have all the time they can to be banning disposable vapes because they are like, what can I say? Yet they go and do stupid things like that, and yet there's more important issues to be getting resolved. This is Australia. Morning coffee. Wisdom. But what's been going on is there was a radiologist, Philip Passfield. He's 64 years old. Get this. He's drink driving. A radiologist who was caught drink driving, and he's sentenced in the Southern local court. He's found guilty of mid-range drink driving a black Alfa Romeo sedan on the North Princess Highway at 5 p.m. This is between Appin Road, Jennings Road at Heathcote at 5 p.m. on March the 27th. Returned a blood alcohol level of 0.145. It's below high range drink driving. But he's had previous drink driving convictions in 2004 and 2014. Part of this is he's required 100 hours of community service. He's got to do a 7-month intensive correction order. Yeah, I don't understand. Like, you've got highly trained medical professionals working in radiology and having a problem with drink driving. It's kind of crazy, to be honest. I don't know. I mean, the road is a very dangerous place, and that does concern me quite a bit. Obviously, we put a lot of our trust into our doctors and medical professionals, and I mean, what can I say? The Oakdale East Estate 2 to 10 Wargrave Road is expanding to a 24-hour hub. This is done by Goodman Property Services. It's basically going to operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's good to see that Western Sydney is expanding and growing to the point where we need more infrastructure, more shopping centre. Obviously, we need more parking, car park. At Leppington Station, I wish they would get they'd get rid of that boom gate because it's just a hassle for that multi-storey car park, which is quite stupid. But Australia's always been behind on infrastructure. We've always been too slow to build things. Like this Badgerys Creek Airport was just political football. And being political football, it meant it was just going on and on and on and on for years and years and years. This was going on before I was born. Look, people just get fed up with political football, especially with the new airport. Sydney Airport is just too overcrowded. It's overpopulated. And I think that it's one of those things where we've got to just start questioning, like, well, why is this being so slow for us? in Australia. So that's what I don't understand. Australia's always been behind on everything. Everything we've been behind on infrastructure, um, especially that. And you look at other countries like Japan, they have a bullet train, which is amazing. Yeah, what I don't like about Transport Sydney trains is they want to put track work on the middle of a weekend during the day and disrupting everything. That's what I don't understand. There's been a scammer going around, Zan Shu. He's age 39. He's charged with basically 17 million fraud messages. You know those scams from Australia Post, phishing scams, multiples. You're sending scams about your deliveries arrived or tolls. Basically, this is what he's done. He was caught with multiple SIM cards. The police raided his home and seized multiple electronics as well. It's just unacceptable that people can think they can scam people. I've heard of stories where people getting calls, your son or daughter's been in an accident, sending text messages that, you've got an appointment with Dr. Pham, and that really pisses me off. And they're targeting the elderly people, these scammers, because they know when they use the word doctor, they think, oh no, I've got to go see my doctor. There's phone spoofing going on now. All you can do is just block it and report it if you can, and ignore it, because they're only out to scam you, and they will be caught. And I hope these scammers get caught and get dealt with in the eyes of the law as well. But that's this is why the world's gone crazy. Morning coffee, wisdom. Yeah, but I think that we've got to just start thinking that, well, there's just some crazy stuff out there. Crazy stuff. As you know, I love me cricket. Usman Khawaja got hit by a bouncer to the helmet on the jaw. Now this hurts, even with a helmet, it does hurt. I think he cleared of a broken jaw. I know concussion protocols now in cricket are mandatory because they have gotten strict. Not as strict as, say, or other contact sports. But no, but as long as he's okay and he's okay to play the next Test match, I'd love to see more day-night Test cricket happen. We need to see more day-nighters. Australia basically won by 10 wickets. The first innings, Australia scored 283. The second was 0 for 26. West Indies in the first innings were 188 and then 120 in the second innings. Basically, yeah, I think they were bowled out on day 3 as well. It's amazing, the Australian cricket team, one of the best cricket teams in the world, very hard to beat. But Glenn Maxwell's, as I think Stan stood down in Melbourne Stars captain, he took over in 2018 over John Hastings. I think Glenn Maxwell's resigned 5 years in the role of the captain of the Melbourne Stars. Yeah, and 2 years remaining with Stoinis. He's 34 and he's out off contract, but the Melbourne Stars have kept him. So, wonder what Glenn Maxwell's going to do. As we saw in last year's Cricket World Cup, 200 on no legs when he cramped up. What an amazing cricketer! Very amazing cricketer, and he should be in the Test side. He should be playing more Test cricket. Pink ball, red ball cricket. Oh, wow. He put on an amazing innings in last year's World Cup, which was entertainment. On no legs, he cramped up very bad. Very bad. The weather right now is 22.7 degrees Celsius, feels like 24.1 degrees Celsius, minimum of 18 degrees Celsius, top of 30 degrees Celsius. At least I got my laundry done yesterday, but the grass has grown. I've got lawns to do. Northeasterly, 7 kilometres an hour wind, 9 kilometres an hour gust, 74% humidity, 0 millimetres of rain since 9 a.m. yesterday. Rain, 90% very high chance of no rain. Sydney, Australia, partly cloudy, light winds becoming northeasterly, 20 to 30 kilometres an hour in the middle of the day, then becoming light in the late evening. Sun, moon and UV index 6:06 a.m. sunrise, 8:11 p.m. sunset. Waxing gibbous moon phase. Full moon is the 25th of January is the next moon phase. 11 extreme max UV index. 9 a.m. to 5:10 p.m. sun protection recommended. Tomorrow sunny. Low of 17 degrees Celsius, top of 38 degrees Celsius. Monday, cloudy, low of 19 degrees Celsius, top of 27 degrees Celsius, no rain. Tuesday, sunny with showers, low of 18 degrees Celsius, top of 27 degrees Celsius, 0 to 1 millimetres of rain. Wednesday, sunny, partly cloudy, low of 17 degrees Celsius, top of 34 degrees Celsius, no rain. Thursday, sunny, partly cloudy, a low of 19 degrees Celsius, top of 35 degrees Celsius, 0 to 1 millimetres of rain. Friday, sunny with showers, a low of 21 degrees Celsius and a top of 32 degrees Celsius, 0 to 2 millimetres of rain. It was good that we had rain on Wednesday. Wednesday it pissed down rain, but it sucks when... You know what I don't understand about weather in Australia? You look up the weather forecast, but they're never right. The game got called off, the Big Bash. But then on the Thursday, it was like a dry, hot day of 30 degrees. And it's like the day before, it's pissing down rain. And the day after, it's basically, nice weather for cricket. But schooners in Australia, you know what a schooner is, just a beer. It's gone up to like $15 just for a schooner. I mean, this is ridiculous. Like, this is why I don't really go out to... I don't go clubbing. I've never been a clubbing person. For me, clubbing was, I don't know, I'd always get bored. But even when you go, like, if you go to a concert to the Ord Pavilion, Kudos Bank Arena, you'll pay about $6.80 for a 600 ml bottle of Coke. Again, I don't know the venue, and like, $13 for a Canadian club as well at Accor Stadium and all the venues, the Sydney Cricket Ground. I guess price gouging stuff, because I mean, if that's what they want to do, I mean, and then you got to think, well, if people keep price gouging, that's gonna people just stop eating out because it's deemed a luxury, and that's going to cost a lot of money in lost revenue from businesses, because no customers mean no work. And this is inflation. This is Albo's inflation. I guess I'm certainly hoping and praying that things do go down, food prices go down in the future, the inflation gets to 2 to 3%, even lower inflation. Imagine if we had inflation at 1%. Like under ScoMo, petrol was it was great under the Liberals. I've always found the Liberals that the economy works better. Yes, Australia's in a lot of debt. Of course, Australia's in debt. The whole world government I'm talking about are in debt. We borrowed money. America too. But I do think that I think things will change in the future and things will get better. People start to realise that they're just being told a bunch of bullshit, and are fed up of lies, especially Australia Day. Like, if you take away Australia Day, these bureaucrats, you're discriminating our country. Now, I'm proud to say I'm a Patriot supporter. I'm a Republican supporter. I'm a Donald Trump supporter. But as you know, for years and years, so when I was a kid, I remember back in the global financial crisis, Kevin Rudd, that Coles and Woolworths food was actually at a much better price. And I think ACMA has actually told Coles and Woolworths to stop price gouging, because they were when inflation was at 5%. Fucking hell, man. And the sad thing is, people just stop going. It hits small businesses too, unfortunately. Like at a small business, they'll charge about nearly $7 for a loaf of bread. I've always found food like red meat too. The supermarkets can sell it at a wholesale price and still make profit, but they choose to price gouge it. Chicken, bread, potatoes have always been expensive. Now, I remember talking about when things and gas prices were going up when Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine. Yes, that's had something to do with it. But how far is Ukraine from Australia? And since Anthony Albanese has come in, everything has just fucking gone up like hell, and people are pissed. Now, there are Labor voters who will listen to my show, and that's fine, but they if they have the common sense to understand that things have become expensive everywhere, please listen to this. We were told a bunch of false promises from Anthony Albanese. This is what the Labor Party has done for years when they're not in power. They play the blame game. All right? They're always blaming the Liberals. But yet when a scandal breaks out in the Labor Party, or they're not doing their job, Chris Bowen, Jim Chalmers as well, they always have to deny everything. Always going overseas, holding meetings about climate change and sustainability and, oh, we've got to get rid of coal, but now they're starting to realise, well, you need coal. Banning petrol cars in Canberra. Cancel culture as well. But this is where I start to get fed up and pissed off, because I've had enough. And yet they want to ban disposable vapes, and that's going to hit tobacconists very hard, because a tobacconist franchise like TSG Tobacconist, and yet the government now wants to take business away so they can favour Coles and Woolies to buy cigarettes and smoke. No. Keep buying your smokes from your tobacconists. Keep your tobacconists in business, and don't give your hard-earned money for your smokes and cigars to Coles and Woolies, because tobacconist is a small business. Well, I think TSG is technically a franchise, but we support them rather than a corporation. Now, I've said it before that cigarettes, alcohol in Australia are a rip-off. Literally a rip-off. I think it's just stupid what's happened. But stand up for your rights. And if you want to vape and you're an adult, go and vape. Go and get your disposable vapes. I've got a nicotine-free vape. I do agree that teenagers should never have gotten their hands on them. Yes, I've heard that disposable vapes and e-cigarettes are far more addictive than normal cigarettes, and that's not on. I've said before, I don't know who's supplying teenagers with vapes, disposable, but that should never have happened in the first place. But again, if you're an adult, you can make your own choices. Like, I choose to smoke cigars. It's my choice. I do like tobacco. But what change is it going to make? Because Chris Minns wants to tear up Moore Park Golf Course and ban disposable vapes when there's more other things to worry about than that stuff. This is Australia for us. I see Woolworths advertising on the KFC Big Bash. Again, when you bring politics in sport, it switches people off. The welcome to country ceremony, I really don't think it's needed or necessary. I've said it before about car racing as well, like Formula 1. Man, this is car racing, alright? Cars are going to bump into each other. I know Max Verstappen does whinge that, oh, he's overtaking me, he's cornering me. Very good car driver. I do like Formula 1. But that's car racing. Again, if sport when it gets all PC culture, well, you're going to piss people off. NRL has come out saying that if fans are using racial slurs, abusing players, they could be virtually kicked out of the stadium and banned for life for attending NRL events. Now, it's going to be a hard one. Yes, racial slurs should never be used, and that does have consequences, of course, but how are they going to police it? Fans are going to heckle. Fans are going to swear at you. I can understand throwing cans at fans and the referees. Not that's bad behaviour. But if you look back in like the 80s and 90s, when people got pissed because the referee caught a bad game, they used to throw things on the field. They were crazy back then. It's good that the NRL, NFL, NHL, Basically, they want to clean up the sport to make it safer, because too many dirty players were going out there hurting people on purpose. Um, purposely going to target people's head, which you were never supposed to hit people in the head in rugby league, but people did accidentally on purpose. But what I don't understand is the NRL change rules all the time. Like this year, apparently the short 10. I think it's if it's a short 10 dropout and it doesn't make it the 10, they stopped the 2-pointer conversion. I think they just play the ball from the 10-metre line now. I've never been a fan of short 10 dropouts. I hate them. They are a risk, especially if they don't go 10. It is a choice from the captain if he wants to go 10, but just kick the thing up the field to the other end. The NRL's changed a lot since I was a kid. I wish they'd bring back the shoulder charge, because that was awesome. But all this hip drop tackles and sin binning players for come on. But that's sport for you. But I'll leave it there, guys. Please subscribe to the Stephen Shields radio show. Turn on your notifications. You can listen to the podcast on my YouTube channel. I think it's on Rumble, Odyssey, and Utreon if you just want to listen to the audio as well. Feel free to be a guest here on Wisdom and join in the conversation. It's always great to have a wide variety of opinions to be on the show. I wish everyone all the best. Bye for now. Wild animals, so you've got to be very careful of Australian crocodiles, saltwater, freshwater crocodiles, because they know how to hide in the water and use stealth. So yeah, that's what it is. New South Wales healthcare workers are apparently going to get 12,000 in subsidies. This is coming from Chris Minns as well, so hopefully our healthcare workers are paid more money. And Campbelltown Hospital, all hospitals should not be charging people money to park. I mean, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. They should all get rid of paid parking for everyone, healthcare workers too, because that's just not on. It's not on. Sean Marsh from the Australian cricket team has decided to call it quits. He's retired. He's played a great career as well in cricket for Australia. He's played a lot of domestic matches and for the international team, and I hope all the best for his future endeavours in whatever he chooses to do after cricket. So guys, that's all from me today. Please like, share and subscribe to the Stephen Shields radio show. Share any of your favourite shows on social media too. Really helps the podcast grow, and word of mouth is obviously the most powerful. And if you'd like to be a guest here on Wisdom, feel free to join in the conversation or just listen. I wish everyone all the best, and bye for now.